relies on these examples of human flight. People have indeed learned to fly. But these are all mechanical means of flight, machines using motors to get aloft. Humans have always dreamed about soaring like the birds. Well, those dreams have nearly come true.
This is paragliding.
It's easy to forget and just find yourself in a dream world.
I've been flying since I was 11 years old, and my father was a hang gliding instructor, and I grew up watching people fly and believing that people could and should fly, and it's always been a passion. I stopped for about 10 years. When I came back, I started paragliding, and I've been doing it ever since.
I think it represents an inherent dream of humanity.
People have these dreams as children where they're flying through the air silently like a bird. I try to tell them that it actually feels that way. It actually feels peaceful. You don't feel unsupported, you're never falling. You have no fear that it's going to drop you once you're in the air. I think that fear exists in people only until they take that first step off the cliff and realize that they're being carried up instead of falling down. And then all of a sudden, it just becomes beautiful to them.
Everybody's got this fear of flight, no matter who you are at some point in their life. This fear of falling off a building because of the out-of-control mess. I try to explain we are professionals, we are licensed pilots, certified pilots, and always in control. So once you can explain the control surfaces and explain that that's how it does work, it's not very difficult to get somebody in it, and everybody should try it.
And so I did.
Okay. Okay, you ready, Dan?
Yeah, fire away.
Big run. Okay. Keep running, keep running, keep running. Okay, get in your harness. Hands back.
Woo! Wow! To see the ground drop right out
cool?
from under you.
It's the free flight. There's no motor, there's no noise. The only thing you hear is the wind across your face and your ears.
Wow, I love the dynamics of being active doing this.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting there passively.
That's right.
Wow, speed really picks up.
Yeah. And left.
Okay.
One more.
Wow, we're back up to altitude.
Yep.
We turned off, we picked up right away. That's cool. G-forces doing this.
We can take anybody from 5 to 7 years old all the way up to 80 or 90-year-old people. You see more and more people showing up with the bucket list. This is one of the things to do, and that's happening a lot. And it is a sport that you don't have to be tip-top shape. You can show up and basically have a fundamental knowledge of how an aircraft works, and sooner or later you will be out there flying. And that's pretty unique about the sport, and that's why it's growing so fast and so much.
The whole flight with Jeremy is a paraglide lesson, teaching me how shifting my weight and position in the harness as we turn will make maneuvers more exhilarating and dynamic. He talks through the maneuvers as we catch rising winds gaining elevation, and during the thrilling spiral as we lose it again.
Reach up and grab onto the brake toggle, go to right and left.
Okay.
Nice, easy, hydraulic fluid motion.
It was a dynamic, interactive lesson.
Our technical rating is tandem instructor. That's what classification, what rating system you have to hold to be able to take people on a flight here. So in each and every flight, we try to demonstrate and explain the in-flight theory of controlling the aircraft of the paraglider. And that's what it's all about, teaching and sharing that free flight experience.
I liked having a feel of the controls
Yeah.
where you can actually sense what's happening and have an influence.
It can be very, very relaxing. Or let's wind it up a little bit.
The sensation as a beginner is incredible, but the experienced pilots tell a different story.
It's a lot of fun. It's really quite an aviation experience. This being the simplest kind of aviation, though, just one person sitting all by themselves in the air, floating along at 15 to 20 miles an hour. It's a real pleasurable experience. Initially, people enjoy or come to paragliding, I think, because of a desire for some sort of a thrill, maybe like skydiving or bungee jumping. But shortly after they fly, especially by themselves, they find that it's really not an adrenaline sport at all. It's a very control-oriented sport. I just love the quiet and the solo serenity of being high in the air, flying amongst the clouds and the birds, and it's just a very relaxing and beautiful experience to fly the paragliders.
But even for veterans, there are still thrills in paragliding.
I think the scenery is what makes this sport here or anywhere else, and I believe most recreational pilots who enjoy this on the weekends do it because it's a very unique way to see the world. This is like hiking in the sky, and I get to hike along this absolutely beautiful beach and see the ocean, see the mountains inland and the whole coastline.
One of the most enjoyable aspects for me of this sport is taking somebody for a ride, 50, 60, 70-year-old person, and looking at the childlike glee in their face when they experience this really simple form of flight. To land and have them turn around and give you a big hug and thank you for a wonderful experience. The tandem flying it's about flying, but it's mostly about taking the passenger and giving them an experience that they've never experienced before. To immediately leave the ground and see the ground drop away from underneath you. That's quite a rush, especially for someone who's never done that before. So the passengers are always very excited by that. And you know, I am too still, so it's very fun. Flying here at Torrey Pines is especially nice. We're right by the ocean, so you get to fly over the water waves crashing on the beach, and you get to see the surfers and the sharks in the water and all the nice houses along the cliff line. It's just a great sport. It's just very fun. I can't think of anything I enjoy as much.
Oh, and the potential for world travel is incredible.
What other type of aircraft can you pack on your back, throw it on any airplane, fly anywhere in the world, and within an hour's drive or so, you're paragliding in that country with that social crowd. No matter where you're at, no matter what language you speak, if you're flying something, you're a part of that group. That's real unique, that welcomingness, no matter where you're at.
So with a range of experiences and opportunities open to someone in this sport, it begs a question.
The best part of this activity?
To hang out with your friends.
Life to the Max is brought to you by Life Touch, photography for a lifetime.